Hey, guess what, folks? Well, it probably doesn't come as a big surprise to anyone on here, but Forbes magazine, the magazine for the aspiring upper middle class that wants to become super wealthy, released some report a few months ago, as they usually do, about the 400 richest people in America. And so here are some facts about these 400 richest people, richest Americans in this country. It's these figures are quite staggering. There are no multi-millionaires on this list. Quite the contrary. In order to join this club, evidently, you need to have at least $1.3 billion in liquid assets, no less. And in order to join that club, and the average admittance is about $3.9 billion as an individual, no less, not a corporation, but as an individual person. Now, this combined wealth of the 400 richest people, 400 richest Americans, so to speak, the super wealthy, I call them, is 400 billion more than the entire discretionary spending budget of the federal government here in the United States. It's more than 300 billion larger than the combined 2008 outlay for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid combined. It's more than 15 times the combined appropriations for education, highways, and mass transit. The personal wealth of these 400 Americans is more than twice the combined annual GDP, the gross domestic product, of sub-Saharan Africa, home to nearly 800 million people, 800 million people, the vast majority of whom live in very dire conditions, basically on less than $1 a day. It's also several $100 billion larger than the GDP of the world's 8th biggest economy, which is Spain. The club's richest member, of course, is Microsoft magnate Bill Gates, whose net worth is $57 billion. And he's the great winner here in this annual Forbes contest of the 400 richest people. And of course, he has a foundation now set up to help other people out, and also help to defray the taxes on his own estate. So really, there isn't much else I can say. Some of the biggest winners included New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, whose personal wealth increased by 8.5 billion to 20 billion as a whole, making Bloomberg the nation's 8th richest individual. On Tuesday, without a hint of irony, much less shame, Mayor Bloomberg protested brutally across-the-board budget cuts for the city of New York. He is calling for cutbacks totaling $500 million for the current fiscal year, to be followed by much steeper cuts in the coming years. While Bloomberg in the course of just 1 year pocketed 17 times what he is now demanding that millions of working people in New York City forfeit in terms of vital services and jobs. Only in America. I'm not going to go past much past this article. I think people are getting the message. There really isn't much else to be said. We're being robbed blind, and at some point, you know, there will be a popular revolt. It will come, and the elites at the very top should know that this is coming. They do know it. That's why all these laws have been put into place in terms of future repression and so on. But eventually, those revolts, rest assured, they will succeed. It might come beyond my generation and others, but it will happen. So the ill-gotten gains of the financial global elite are very much in danger, and they know that, and that's why they're implementing certain laws, even in so-called democracies, to keep the upper hand. Eventually, as it always does, it will backfire. Read your world history and you will know what's coming. In the meantime, there's going to be some tough times ahead for all of us, because we're living in interim times, as they say, and things are going to have to get a lot worse before people take to the streets. But they will. They will take to the streets eventually, rest assured, no matter what weapons are deployed. The elite should be very afraid of us collectively, not just the people making little videos on YouTube here, but the coming generations, which will be so pissed off, much more pissed off than we are now at this stage, that's probably why they're making their preparations now. Good luck, financial elite, because your day is coming. The day of reckoning is coming. It may be 20 years or 30 years off, but rest assured, injustice will not be continued indefinitely. Unless, of course, you know, you decide to blow up the whole planet. In that case, all bets are off.